Broncos country, it's time to go get this win. I'm going to break down, preview this matchup. We got the Steelers coming into Denver tomorrow. Y'all be sure to let me know your score prediction in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe as well for more Broncos content and news. I'll be live for the post game, hopefully with my friend Marky Sports, and then next week with Let's Talk Broncos. So again, y'all be sure to subscribe, but let's go ahead and get into this. Steelers 1-0, taking on the 0-1 Broncos. This is going to be a very important game for the Broncos because we need to take care of our games at home if we're going to have any chance of making the playoffs. We saw some flashes from Bo Nix and that offense last week. Can this team finish in the red zone? Can this team finish when we get into enemy territory? That's the big narrative that I'm looking to see if we got answers to this week coming into this matchup. I'm bummed that Russell Wilson's not going to be starting. Justin Fields, I think that Pittsburgh is making the right choice. I think that he does give you the best chance to win because he is a threat on his legs. He might struggle reading the middle of the field and all that, just like Russell Wilson, but he can at least move. So right now you see Broncos are actually 2.5-point dogs at home. Pretty interesting, right? So that Pittsburgh defense is going to be tough to beat. Right now, matchup predictor, 42% for the Broncos. But again, can the Broncos just limit the amount of destruction that Justin Fields and these running quarterbacks have been able to do on Broncos defenses in the past? That's the big goal for our defense, is limiting Justin Fields on his feet. Najee Harris comes in 20 carries, 70 yards. Like, that's not great stuff. Again, Justin Fields, 17-23, 156 yards last week. George Pickens is going to be somebody to watch, as well as Van Jefferson. Riley Moss, much better matchup this week on Van Jefferson. George Pickens, obviously, will be going up against Pat Surtain. And can our pass rush and our defensive line as a whole disrupt that subpar Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line that they've had the last couple of years or so, last few years? I think they can. But it's going to be on Alex Singleton, especially, to make sure that we're bringing down Justin Fields when he chooses to run and scramble. We need a big game out of Alex Singleton for the Broncos to get this win, I think. Now, when you look at the offense, we have to run the ball better. Again, we saw that offensive line performance last week. It wasn't great. We've seen much better performances out of Quinn Miners, who was our worst rated lineman. What? That never happens. Quinn Miners, Ben Powers, Garrett Bowles, like all these guys had subpar games. I think they're going to get their mojo back this week. Now, it's not going to be the easiest matchup. Garrett Bowles is going to have TJ Watt to worry about. Mike McGlinchey might have some TJ Watt to worry about. But can we limit him by running the ball? Running the ball effectively. Let's run from different sets. Let's run from shotgun. Let's run from pistol. Let's run from under center. You know Sean Payton's going to mix it up. We saw that last week. I just don't want to get away from the run game too early, too quickly. I think we went away from it a little too much, or a little too early against Seattle. So I want to see Jaleel McLaughlin, hold on to the ball, but I want to see him have some big gains. I want to see us get Javonte Williams into like a real rhythm. I didn't really feel like we were trying to at the beginning of the game. He slipped a couple times, and then after that, never really saw too much from him. Can we get him into a rhythm? Now, I think Devon Vele is going to be out. Troy Franklin, can we run some RPO action to get him involved? Can we finally see some more speed usage out of Marvin Mims? That would be wonderful. Could this be a game in which Greg Dulcich eats? I think it very well could be. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, is Bo Nix going to find the right rhythm and timing this game in his second career NFL start, as opposed to what happened last week in his debut? Timing was just off. Guys, check out my film review that I did of him. I'll post it in the comments, in the description if you haven't seen it. But can we get Bo Nix in a rhythm to where he's hitting on those posts and those crossers over the middle in right timing? Our wide receivers going to limit the drops. Can we have just like maybe one? Maybe one. Wouldn't it be phenomenal if we only had, or if we had zero drops? But Will Jordan Humphrey, Josh Reynolds, Cortland Sutton, like all these guys had drops for us last week. We need them to be on their game if we're going to be a very tough Pittsburgh Steelers team. Very tough Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They win ugly. That is their identity. And so if this game is close, I think that it goes in favor of Pittsburgh, right? As much as I hate to say it, but they are comfortable. They know what it takes to win these ugly games. I want to see Denver get out to a lead and win convincingly. That is my hope. Again, if the Broncos are going to make the playoffs, if we're going to sneak in there as one of those wild card teams, we got to take care of our games at home, especially ones against conference opponents. So that's okay. We're 0-1. We lost a road game to a non-conference opponent. Those are the least important games when it comes down to it. But now we really got to lock in. We got to play. We got to play better football. So players to watch. Let's get into it. Number one, it's got to be Bo Nix. Can he find his timing? Are we going to see him connect on those downfield throws? Are we going to see him settle in more this week? I think so. Jaleel McLaughlin's another player to watch. His speed, you cannot teach that. We need to limit the amount of turnovers and mistakes killing drives. He killed a drive in which that could have been the difference in winning the football game. Let's make sure we hold on to the football, as well as Bo Nix, not turning the ball over in the red zone. Inexcusable stuff. I want to see him play better. On defense, the Riley Moss versus Van Jefferson matchup, I'm looking forward to watching that, as well as seeing kind of how Alex Singleton or our safeties are able to contain Pat Fryermuth. Big time weapon coming out there out of Pittsburgh. And you know we've been burned by tight ends in the past. Now, when it comes to our edge room, can Jonathan Cooper stack another brilliant performance? I thought he had an amazing game against the Seahawks last week. Let's see him take advantage of this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line and have another monster game. Earn himself a nice little contract extension here with the Denver Broncos. And lastly, let's talk about the third phase, special teams. We were dominant. Last week in special teams. We were in that game because of special teams. Let's win the battle on special teams. Pittsburgh has always been a well-coached team in all three phases of the game. Let's make sure that we're winning that phase in special teams. We're flipping field position. We're pinning them back because, hey, if we're giving that team 95, 90 yards to go to score, I feel so good about our chances to win if that's happening consistently. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do see the Broncos getting this victory. I guess I'll go with 20. How about 24? How about 24 points to 16? That's right. So we cover. I think we win nice. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, thank you as always. Go Broncos.